everybody, so today I'm doing kind of a throwback video. I know that Kelly Gooch did this video a while back, and then I also saw It's Just Steph. Her name's Stephanie. I'll put both of their channels down below. Anyways, it's the If I Can Only Have One challenge or tag, but revisiting it. I did do the If I Could Only Have One tag on Instagram about 9 months ago, and so I figured that I would go on to Instagram and look at all the different things that I had chose and see if they were items that I would still choose if I had to replenish my collection or if I would use other things. Now, with that being said, I kind of looked at it with a different mindset this time. I looked at it as if I lost my entire makeup collection and I had to go back and repurchase everything to do a full face, these are the items I would choose. Now, a few of them I don't currently have right now, but it's because I have other items that I want to work through, but if that they're my go-to ones. So I'm going to tell you guys what I chose in 2018, and then if it's the same item or if it's a new item and what they are. So I got my little list down here, so I'm going to be looking down a little bit. But so for primer, last year I chose the Benefit Professional. Now, I love that primer. I think it's great. I do have one of the little tiny sizes right now. I finished up a full size last year. I would definitely recommend that as a pore filling primer. I think it's great. But if I can only have one primer, I'm going to want one that not only fills pores a little bit, but it also smooths and deals with some uneven texture and all of that. So I would choose the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. Now, this is the half size. I think it retails for $16. I also have a couple of the 0.25 ounces, so those are obviously half of this. I think that this product was overly sampled for a while, but I still really like it, and it's definitely one that I would recommend, especially if you want a primer that is silicone based and that gives you the slip you need and kind of blurs some pores, kind of blurs some texture. Like it does a little bit of everything. So it's definitely something I would recommend. For 2018, I chose the IT Cosmetics CC Cream as my If I Could Only Have One foundation. I still absolutely love that foundation. I don't have a good shade match in it right now, so that's why I don't have it in my collection. But if I had to go out and repurchase a new foundation because I didn't have any foundations anymore, I wouldn't go out and spend $38 on a foundation. There's a few high-end products that I would, but foundation's just not one of them. I would definitely go for the L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation. I wear the shade 102. It's a tiny bit dark for me right now, but I didn't get any sun last summer, so it didn't carry over through the winter. So it's a tiny bit too dark, but this is absolutely one that I would recommend. I'm super oily, and the way that this melds with my oils throughout the day, it just looks prettier and prettier and prettier as the day goes on. I would absolutely recommend that one. The next item was concealer, and last year I chose the Maybelline Age Rewind. I still love that concealer. I think it's great, but I do think that the Maybelline Fit Me edges it out just a tiny bit. I don't currently have one because I finished one up last year, and now I'm trying to work through a bunch of concealers. I'm working on a Hey Honey concealer, a Tarte concealer, I'm working on a bunch of high-end concealers, but they're definitely not ones that I would run back out and get if I needed to repurchase or replenish my lack of concealers. I would definitely recommend the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. Now, my first item that hasn't changed is powders. Last year and this year, I would still recommend the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. I have 2 of these in my collection right now. I do have, ignore the little bit of hard pan there, I do have pan in this. This is Silky Beige, which is a great shade match for me right now. I also have one in translucent. I would absolutely recommend this powder if you're oily. I have oily skin, so I don't know if it works for other skin types, but if you're oily like me, this powder's great for setting. It's great for touch-ups. It's absolutely something that I would recommend. So setting spray. Because I'm doing this in the order that I usually put it on. So I powder, and then I do a little bit of setting spray, and then I do the rest of my powder products, and then I do a little bit of setting spray. Because I am super oily, so I use a lot of powder products. So for my setting spray, so last year I chose the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray. I love that setting spray, but I'm not going to go out and spend $32 on a setting spray. So I chose the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray, and also the coconut water version. Now, I use this one at the beginning of my makeup, and then I use both of these. I love the coconut one, but I think this one's great too. I haven't tried the matte one yet. My guess is that I would like the matte one, and these ones are $5. So I know that they only have 1.52 ounces of product, so 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's about $15 for the same amount as a $32 Urban Decay setting spray. That's still a better deal, and I feel like they do exactly the same thing for a way better price tag. Another item that's a carryover from last year is my butter bronzer. If I could only have one bronzer, it would absolutely be this one. I have lots of pan in this. I love this bronzer. I think it's great. I think it's perfect for my skin tone. I just have it in the bronzer shade. It's absolutely something that I would recommend. If you're sensitive to fragrances, you're probably not going to like this. I think it smells great. And as soon as I finish this off, even though I have other bronzers that I'm currently working on, I still do use this at least once a week, and I will repurchase it even though I have other bronzers I want to use up. That's how much I like it. So a couple of items that, so far everything has been drugstore. The next two items, I would absolutely repurchase high-end items. So for my blush last year, I chose the Balm Pinstripe blush. It is a deeper, more purpley blush. I still really, really like that blush, but it's not an everyday blush. I don't know if I thought I was choosing for the winter. I don't know, but that's definitely not the one that I would pick now. Now I would go out and I would pick, this one's dirty. I would go out and pick up the Urban Decay blush in Video. It's gorgeous. It's the perfect neutrally nude for my skin tone. You can tell that you're wearing blush. It's a beautiful, it's beautiful. And I know that those are, I think they're $26, but those blushes are absolutely worth it. And that I went back and forth. I actually picked a drugstore blush first, and I like crossed it out and I wrote down that one because I probably would spend the money on that one. If I didn't have the money, I'd probably just go out and pick up an Essence blush because the formula is good, the quality is good, and they're only a couple of bucks. But I haven't tried any of those, so I can't recommend them. Of the ones that I've tried, and I have a huge blush collection, I would repurchase that one. Same with highlighter. Last year, I chose the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter. I still love that highlighter. I think it's great. I am currently trying to hit pan on it. I think it's wonderful. But my go-to is the Balm's Mary Lou. I think that this is an amazing highlighter. I do have a pretty good dip going in it. I've hit pan in the version that's in a palette that I own. I also have a little size of it. I just think it's the most beautiful champagne highlight ever. And I think that that one's like $20 or $22. Out of all the highlights that I own, if I lost all my highlights, that's absolutely, hands down, number one, the highlight that I'd go out and repurchase. So even though it's a high-end, it's absolutely the one that I'd go back out and buy. The next one I had was brows, and that one's kind of hard for me because I chose the Cella Brow Pencil and the Benefit Gimme Brow. I probably would go back out and purchase the Gimme Brow. I love that brow gel. I don't think that there's any other brow gels that I've used that tint and hold as well. I love the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I've never used the tinted version, so I can't speak to that one. But At the same time, I go through brow pencils so fast that I would probably go out and repurchase one that I don't currently have right now, and that's the CoverGirl brow pencil. It's really good. I do have a good shade match in that range. It's a good formula. They're all pretty much the same. They're all, I did pull out my Anastasia Brow Wiz because this one can't go on sale and me not purchase at least one. I love this one, and so every time it's in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, I do purchase one or two, because at $10.50, hands down, this is the best brow pencil on the market if you like a skinny micro brow pencil. But like I was saying, one of my last videos, I did an empties and I used up the Sephora, and it's $12. I feel like drugstore is creeping up on there. So if you can get this for $10 or $11, I like it so much better, but I probably wouldn't run back out and buy this one because it is $21. So I'd probably go get the CoverGirl one, or I'd try out the LA Girl one if it's somewhere where I can find that. Or let's see, I like the Maybelline Define a Brow, but that one has not a lot of product in it. I liked the L'Oreal brow pencil, the Pro Brow Stylist or whatever it was called. I liked that one too. I'd probably just go out and get a drugstore colored micro brow pencil. That's just probably what I would do. The next one that I had was palettes. So I actually, last year, I chose the same high-end palette, and then I chose, for a drugstore palette, the Wet n Wild Little Trio in Walking on Eggshells. Now, I still love that one, but for a drugstore option, I would probably just go with a single. This is the Wet n Wild single in Brulee. It's the perfect shade to set my eyeshadow primer with, and I really do like it. This has not changed though. I chose my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette last year, and I chose it again this year. If I was going to go back out and repurchase a palette that had everything I need in a palette, it would absolutely be this one. I think it's great. I know that there's brands that have done dupes for this. I know that Rimmel has one. I think CoverGirl's done one. I haven't tried any of those because that palette's perfect to me, and if, I don't want to say it because I'm afraid it's going to happen, but if this was to fall and shatter, I would go and I would buy another one. I use my credit card and I'd feel bad about it, but I would definitely go do it. The next thing I had was liquid liner, and this hasn't changed. This is the Essence eyeliner pen waterproof. This is absolutely great. I think it's just as good as the Kat Von D. It's just as good as Stila. It's just as good as Ico. It's very good. It has a felt tip, which I like, and I feel like I have a little bit more control with a felt tip than I do with a brush tip, and this is absolutely something I would recommend, and I believe that they're $2.99, which that's a great price on those. For mascara, I don't currently have it. Last year I chose the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, and I used to love that one, but I just don't love it anymore. So I chose the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It is a dupe for the Better Than Sex, which is my holy grail, absolute top favorite mascara. But again, I probably wouldn't go out and spend $24 on a mascara if I lost all my makeup. So I would go and I would spend the $10 on the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and I think that it's a very good drugstore version and something that I don't currently have right now because I have a couple of my holy grails, but I got those on sale. If I didn't get those on sale, I'd probably buy the L'Oreal's first before another Better Than Sex. Last year for lipstick, I chose the Urban Decay Naked Old Formula, but it's not available anymore. I don't like the new version of the Urban Decay lipsticks that came out. Naked is not the same. It's sheer, it's patchy. I don't feel like the color's the same. So I didn't pick a lipstick this year because I wear liquid lipsticks. I'm not a lipstick person. I didn't choose a gloss because I'm not a gloss person. I know that liquid lipsticks aren't really a thing anymore, but they're absolutely still a thing for me. And then for liquid lipsticks, I chose last year the shade, actually I think I have it in my empties right here, the shade Strut from ColourPop. I think this is an absolutely great shade. It got me into my love of the like purpley gray toned nudes. This is Tarte's OG, but this absolutely opened that door for me. Now, if I had to repurchase one, it would be the Tarte Rosé. This one's a used up one. I missed out on the sale when they went for $10 at Ulta, which I'm kicking myself for. But Tarte's Rosé, let me see if I can get a swatch. Oh, the top swatch is OG and this is Rosé. I love it. It's the perfect shade. It's a perfect color. I love it. I love it. I will purchase it, but I forgot. I totally forgot on Thursday that it was on sale, and so now I have OG, so I'm going to work on that, and hopefully it comes on sale again. And then something that I forgot last year that I think is absolutely necessary is an eyeshadow base. Now, if I had to go out and purchase one, I would absolutely purchase the Benefit Stay Don't Stray because it's a 360 base. So I use it before my foundation. I will use it on my eyelids and my under eyes. It preps me for concealer. It preps me for eyeshadow. It's tinted. See, it's tinted. I just think that it's great. It is a little bit on the pricey side, but I have super oily eyelids, so I need my eyeshadows to stay in place. I mean, I guess I don't need them to stay in place, but I would like them to stay in place. And I really do think that this is a good eyeshadow base and definitely something that I would recommend. So let me know below if this is something that you guys have done on your channel within this last year, or if it's something you've done on Instagram. I'd love to have your channels tagged down below so I can check your videos out. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!